Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
And I'm Michelle.
And I don't have an opening joke for this one. This is our post-Geekout reaction for Birds of Prey, the newest film in the still existing DC Cinematic Universe. I say that because I feel like DC has kind of gotten to the point where they're just like, screw it, it's all connected, it's all its own thing, screw it, just everybody does whatever they want to do.
We just want a fancy opening like the MCU does.
Yes, exactly. We just want that opening title card, that's all we want. Which honestly, I'm okay with that, because all the stuff that I didn't like about the DC Cinematic Universe was the stuff that came at the beginning, Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, hated all that stuff. All the stuff they've been doing now is good. Like, they're all on track now, and nothing is like in your face anymore about this ties into this, and this is this thing, and this is connected to this thing over here. But they all now like vaguely reference the fact that that stuff still exists. And you know what? Cool. Perfect balance. You figured it out, man. Just keep going the course. So, yeah, this is Birds of Prey. It is the, I'm not even going to say follow-up to Suicide Squad, but Harley Quinn still is the same character.
Yeah, it's like, this is basically like Birds of Prey prequel, kind of like how Iron Man 3 was like an Avengers prequel.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, yes, because this comes in here and it says, the Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Let's be real here, guys. This is the Harley Quinn movie. There just happens to be other characters in here, but the other characters get set up to be the Birds of Prey in here. I'm not going to get into too many spoilers about like how they're set up or anything like that, but you do sum it up very well. This feels more of like, okay, and now we get the actual Birds of Prey film. This one's more of Harley Quinn and Friends.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised it wasn't like, that wasn't the title, like Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey or some shit like that.
I guarantee you that there was someone behind the scenes at Warner Brothers saying, just call us Harley Quinn, it'll get way more money in there. Because Margot Robbie, like, she funded this whole thing. Like, apparently, DC, they've no longer got anybody there like, okay, we've got the plan. If we go step by step by step, they're more just like, I don't know, do you have an idea for it? Are you paying for it? Do it. I don't care anymore, man. I'm out of here in like a week. Like, that's how DC is kind of running their cinematic universe. And as I said, it's kind of working for them. It's like Shazam, perfect, amazing, Aquaman, dumb but really fun. It's okay, stay the course. Just let these creators do whatever they want, and then you get to come in here at the end and go, yeah, that's part of our cinematic universe. We did that, everybody's like, you didn't do a goddamn thing. You didn't do a goddamn thing. They did the stuff in there, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of what's working for them right now. But yeah, I guarantee you there was someone behind the scenes like, we need this to be called the Harley Quinn movie. But Margot Robbie, from what I heard, she said that she wanted this to not just be Harley Quinn, she wanted this to be all about lesser-known DC superheroes, female superheroes, and that's why she wanted to focus on the Birds of Prey. Because originally, the pitch for this was, because you guys gotta remember, DC came out and said, all right, we're doing a Harley Quinn and Joker movie. We're doing a Joker movie. We're doing a Harley Quinn movie. We're doing a Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey movie. And we're doing a Harley Quinn and the Gotham City Sirens movie. They announced all that shit at the same time. And then they came in here and said, no one likes that Jared Leto Joker. We're not doing that one anymore. The other Joker film is existing in its own side universe. And then it came down to, okay, Harley Quinn and the Gotham City Sirens, and Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey, and apparently Margot Robbie said, everybody knows Poison Ivy, everybody knows Catwoman. We're not doing that one. We might do it in the sequel, but in this one, we want to focus on the characters that people don't know, which, good for her. I'm all in favor of that. I want new characters in these films, and this one is definitely about introducing some new characters. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't in here. I will, though, go ahead and just say right now, I'm not giving this a score at the end. Because this film is so not aimed at me. I have things in here I like, I have things in here that I don't like, but this film is definitely like, we are aiming this at a specific audience, and you know something? Great. I am all in favor of superhero movies getting to that point where they can now just be aimed at specific target audiences. I think that is a wonderful thing to exist. And this is aiming at an audience that doesn't get a lot of movies out there. So perfect. Wonderful. I will still come in here and review it because that's my job, but I'm not going to give it a score simply because, as I said, this movie, it is not being aimed at me. So it would be weird for me to come in here and be the one to give it a score. You can still do it if you want.
I don't know what score I would give it, but like, I admit I was a bit nervous about going to see this movie because I was worried it was just going to be like Suicide Squad but with girls.
The trailers definitely kind of look like, and they definitely borrow some art decisions from Suicide Squad.
But here's the thing. Suicide Squad was trying to like do all that crazy art stuff while still being serious.
Kind of.
But it works with Harley Quinn and her character.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Yes.
So I kind of felt like the tone fit better.
Yes, it absolutely did fit better. Also, you got a director and actors and everybody who knew what they wanted this film to be.
Yeah.
Whereas it felt like when Suicide Squad, it was a lot of a director who was not used to that style of like just off the walls crazy stuff, and he was going like, well, I guess it's what the kids want. But we're done bad mouthing the rest of the DC Cinematic Universe. So like I said, they're good now. It's good. I like the DC Cinematic Universe now. But this film, you mentioned how the art decisions and everything that they do in here really match up with Harley Quinn. That's something that we should go ahead and point out. This film is for people who like Harley Quinn.
Yes.
Like, we joked earlier on about how this is the Harley Quinn movie, and she's got some friends here along the way. But this is the Harley Quinn movie. Like, you need to be 100% behind, like, her sense of humor. Her, like, just crazy, zany view on life.
Like understanding her backstory and why she does the things she does. And
yes. And that is another reason why I'm coming in here and saying, like, I'm just not really going to give this a score, because this is obviously being aimed at female audiences, and that's wonderful, perfect, like I said.
I am a Harley Quinn fan, so...
Yes. I like Harley Quinn when she's with other things. I don't really like her when she's the main focus.
Yeah, I also think she does better with, like, when she has someone to bounce off of and everything, so, like, hoping that might be something they do in future DC movies or something like that with her.
I think we're just going to get like Harley Quinn after this. Like, it's going to be like after the Deadpool film where they like put Deadpool in everything now.
Well, like maybe they'll have like maybe she'll just team up with a new person every movie or something.
Well, I mean, she's going to be in the next Suicide Squad, so she will be with other characters. But yeah, like I said, this film was narrated by Harley Quinn. And you keep seeing like these little images pop up of what she's thinking, or not like thought bubbles, but when like a person gets introduced, it says like name and then like pre-fitted backstory in there. And if you are down with that sense of humor, you're going to enjoy this film. I wasn't annoyed by it. I will definitely say that. I was not annoyed by it, but I was just like, this is not really my style of comedy.
Like, you know what the visuals kind of reminded me of? Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Definitely had that tone, yeah. I was thinking Suicide Squad, but better. And Scott Pilgrim definitely was Suicide Squad before Suicide Squad when it comes to that art style.
Yeah.
So definitely it's going for, I don't even know if that style has a term, but it's been used so many times in so many different movies, you'd think it would by now. But what this movie is about is that there is a diamond that everybody is trying to get their hands on, and many different characters in this city all kind of get caught up in this crazy case, and they all come together. And that's the thing about this film. I am a stickler for, if you guys have watched these reviews for a while, you know, I am a stickler when it comes to the structure of your story. And this film, it feels just slapped together and chaotic for the first, like, I'd say 20 minutes of it. Like, just, all right, whatever, now this is happening, here we go. And then after like 20, 25 minutes, Harley Quinn just freezes on this scene and goes, hold on, I'm telling this story all the wrong way. Let's back up a little bit. And then it backs up, which is like the second or third time that they've already done the let's back up and retell this part again. But then they back up and they show you every single thing that you have seen throughout this film. They now introduce Black Canary's character in here, and they show you what's been going on that she's been seeing. And there's this whole other story that's been happening behind the scenes. And it's actually done incredibly well how they intercut all of her scenes to happen like right before one of Harley Quinn's scenes, or we saw Black Mask doing a thing, and then we see Black Canary, she's out here in this car waiting on Black Mask, then he'll come out, and we go, oh, so he was just doing that thing from that scene. Oh, okay, I see now.
Yeah, like it did feel like a mess of puzzle pieces at the beginning, but eventually they put them together.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I was really impressed with that. That is actually really... It was handled incredibly well. I'm trying to think of a better way to sum it up, but yeah, that is a very hard thing to pull off. when you come in here with a story that is purposely jumbled and all over the place in the beginning, so that you can then come in and fill in all the spots, that is one of those things that, you know, a lot of filmmakers might attempt that kind of thing, but I feel like a lot don't even try because they know it can go wrong in so many different ways. Yeah, they attempted it here, and I think they pulled it off incredibly well. I was really impressed by that. And after that point, I was totally in on this, and after that point, it also really hit me what this was. This is a crime thriller. It's a comedic crime thriller, but this is all... I don't really want to say a heist film, but it is a story about numerous different individuals, all who are vaguely just loosely connected to each other by a thread, and it's just watching that thread get pulled and all of them just slowly moving in on each other. And I really dug that. I dug that that is what the idea of this film was. There is one spot, though, where I think it fails. Like, I think that it works for Black Canary. I think it works for Harley Quinn. I think it works for Renee Montoya. I think it works for Cassandra Cain. The Huntress feels like she is just, like, it feels like they wrote this script without the Huntress. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, they just went, you know, we can't really call it the Birds of Prey if we don't have, like, at least one more character in there. And then at the end, they had to, like, add another character into this movie. And don't get me wrong, I think the Huntress is great in this film. I really enjoy her character in here. And when you talk about the sense of humor that this film is trying to have, I think that she actually does that great job of walking that tightrope between action-heavy badass and having, like, just the right amount of jokes in there. I think that she's handled it incredibly well. And, like, there's moments towards the end when you actually see her interacting with the rest of this team, and I love that. I love seeing her interact with the rest of the team because you can tell, like, she doesn't know how to interact with other people.
Yeah, I mean, she's pretty much been isolated and trading with assassins her whole life.
Yeah, exactly. So I love those little moments that we get towards the end of this film of her interacting. But the reason why you get those little moments towards the end of this film is you don't see her, like, at all with anybody throughout the rest of this film. Her entire character throughout this film up until the very end of the movie is mysterious person shows up, shoots someone with a crossbow, now leaves. And you didn't need that at all. Like, it does not add anything to this film. It's not needed in any way. Like I said, good character, but in terms of the story structure, like, at the end of this film, there comes the moment where they all meet up at the same location.
And like,
No, you're all, I gotta bleep that out now. You just totally...
I'm sorry.
No, I mean at the end, when they all meet up for the first time, he goes, it's you. Who are you? Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Like, yeah, who is she? She has nothing to do with any of you. And they come up with a reason why she would be connected to Black Mask, but it is so like, you take an eraser to one line of dialogue, it is... completely her entire purpose for being in this film is gone.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like she's, like, connected just by that much. I mean, like, her significance is just that much. She's like, oh, she shot the guy who was strangling Harley Quinn or something like that, so she saved the Zay or something like that.
Yeah, but like, you could have had Harley just kick the guy in the nuts and, like, stay saved as well. And, yeah, she has no purpose being in this film. Again, have to make it clear. Like the character, she's done very well in the film. I think that she actually fits in this movie very well. I really want to see her in the sequel. They should have just saved her for the sequel. Like, again, just speaking in terms of story structure, that is the one thing in this very tight film. Because this is a film where everything fits together just right. Except for her. Like, I saw this picture, it was one of those bomb-clad meme things going around Twitter. And it was just a row of bricks just perfectly laid together. And then one random brick just shoved halfway in, like they didn't even try and fit that thing in place. That's what the Huntress is in this film. And it's the one thing that just drove me nuts in this movie. Sorry, I've been talking way too long. So you did like the film. What do you think of the characters?
I did like the characters. I kind of wish it focused more on the other characters than Harley Quinn.
Yeah. We already kind of discovered.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. But like I said, I'm also a Harley Quinn fan, so I'm...
So it didn't really bother you then?
Yeah, so...
Okay,
like, I just kind of felt like they should have had, like, their own two separate movies.
Yes, that's exactly... Like,
it's kind of like what you're...
This should have been Birds of Prey and not, like, this should not have been Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn. It's like, it should have been Birds of Prey next summer, the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, it's like when it was like your issue of the Spider-Verse, where it just should have been like Miles Morales' movie,
yes,
and then the other guys. But
yeah, for everybody who missed our Spider-Verse review, really like that film. Man. It's one of those films that the more times I go back and watch it, the more I realize that wasn't really a problem. I don't really have that much of a problem with it, but I do stand by saying I think that film would have been even better if they hadn't have introduced Noir, Ham, and Penny at the end. If it had just stuck with Miles, Gwen, and Peter. Like, I think that film would have been a much more tighter film that still would have gotten the message across. But I feel like this one's so much worse about that, because this one, it really feels like this was just the Harley Quinn movie, and they just had to include, like, the Birds of Prey in there. Whereas I did like the Birds of Prey in here. And Renee Montoya is this detective who was chasing Harley Quinn down, and all I could think was, make the Harley Quinn movie with Renee Montoya in there. Then next summer, Renee Montoya, she's like a night nurse in the Defenders shows, where now she's popping over here, and now she's doing this thing, and then she pops up in another thing, and she's doing this thing over there. Like, make her that thread that just ties together this very loose DC cinematic universe that you're building, because we know you got that new Batman movie coming out sometime soon.
It's like, another thing I was wondering about this movie is like how they would handle like superpowers in a way. Because,
yeah, that was kind of weird.
Yeah, because like a lot of well, I know there obviously DC has superheroes.
Harley Quinn has no powers.
But the
Huntress has no powers.
The Gotham gang doesn't really have any.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing that you get any mention of powers in here is that there is one brief mention of Black Canary having powers, and that is it. That is the only thing. There's one line of dialogue, and it is kind of odd to me that like, okay. I'm not going to go any further than this, because then we do start getting into spoilery stuff in here, but it definitely does kind of feel like this is a movie that doesn't need to exist within a superhero universe at all.
Yeah.
But then they still kind of want to remind us that there's superheroes in here. Like, that's, okay, tonal issues in here a little bit, like you could have just left that out. You would have been totally 100% fine in this thing. Speaking of Black Canary, I gotta come in here and say, I think she is the breakout star of this film. Mm-hmm. I definitely think that she is the one that, when I walked out of this film, I went, yeah, I don't really need any more Harley Quinn, but I definitely want a Black Canary movie now. I am 100% behind that actress continuing to be Black Canary, her getting another movie, not even another Birds of Prey movie, just another movie, but it would definitely be a Birds of Prey film, which is fine, because like I said, I also really like Huntress in here. I just didn't think she fit in the movie at all. But she's already in here now, so alright, cool. Awkward introduction out of the way. We can now just get to the cool stuff in the sequel. Yeah, I really like the characters in here, and I really am hoping that if we do get, I'm not going to spoil anything about where it leaves off, but there's definitely room for sequels in here, and it's room for a sequel that doesn't need Harley Quinn. It's room for a sequel that could just be Huntress, Renee Montoya, everybody else in here. My throat is destroyed, everybody. I apologize. So yeah, I'm more fascinated to watch that hypothetical sequel than I am to like ever go back and watch this film again.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, like that's the thing is like this movie got me hyped to see these characters more.
Which is great. That's great. The only character who, as a comic book nerd, I did have a problem with this. The only character in here that I couldn't get out of my head was Cassandra Cain. Because Cassandra Cain is absolutely nothing like she is in the comics. 0%. Like, she has problems with her parents. That is the closest you get to what she's like in the comics. And I've heard a lot of people going, oh, this isn't like the comics. I'm like, it's actually like a lot of the comics that I know. Like, this actually matches up with a ton of the recent Harley Quinn comics. It matches up perfectly. Except for Cassandra Cain. She is nothing else. And I kept looking at this going, there's so many other characters you could have used for this. Like, this is the Birds of Prey. This could have been Misfit. Like, it would have fit Misfit perfectly in this film. And it's kind of ticking me off as a comic book nerd. That's like, that is so not Cassandra Cain. But I will say the character is good. This, again, I want to make it clear. This is solely just, I have to address this one thing because the comic book nerd in my brain would not shut up about this thing. But the movie fan in me, who can shove that comic book nerd into the locker, he can sit here and look at this thing and go, Cassandra Cain is a really good character in here. And she actually does a great thing for Harley Quinn in this film. Like, she actually adds a really important character to Harley Quinn's life. Like, when the two of them meet up, that's one of the better relationships in this entire film. Mostly because very few people actually meet up in this film. But that's not a complaint. That's not me coming in here and wagging the finger at, well, you didn't have enough interaction in here. It's not that type of film. It's a film about individuals who are, like, barely connected to this thing, but the more the story goes along, they keep getting shoved closer and closer together. And as I said, I think that that is a genius thing when you can pull it off, and they pulled it off, and I applaud that. But as I said, they are the only ones who really do get interactions in here, and I like those interactions. The interactions between Cassandra Cain and Harley Quinn. I think they're actually really good. Anything else? Oh, the villain, Ewan McGregor. I think that he is, man, wow, one of my favorite comic book movie villains. I will go ahead and say that right now. He doesn't have a lot of deep motivations other than just being like a spoiled brat who wants to prove that he didn't get all of this because of daddy. He is just basically like a snuck-up nut job who lived his entire life just getting whatever he wants. But Ewan McGregor sells the crap out of this role. Which is one of those things that makes me go, I don't know how this movie is going to do in theaters this weekend, but I have this weird feeling like it's not going to do that well. Because when Ewan McGregor is good in a movie, it doesn't do well. When Ewan McGregor is bad in a film, it does well. He's got that Colin Firth disease, where if he's bad in a film, everyone goes to see it and then walks out and goes, well, that guy can't act. But when he's in a film and he acts his ass off, nobody goes and sees that. So I'm like, oh no, Ewan McGregor is good in this film. That's not speaking well. But yeah, he is great in this movie. Yeah, it's just amazing to me, like, how, like, 100% he went into this thing. So anything else you want to say about this film before we go into spoilers?
I don't think so.
It's been a while since we did a spoiler talk.
Yeah.
I just realized that. Yeah, well, do you want to give it a score or not?
I don't know what kind of score I would give it. Like, I don't even remember what score I gave to Suicide Squad.
Oh, you probably gave it like a bad one. I know I gave it like a 2 or something. I hated Suicide Squad. That's like one of the worst reviews I've ever given to a comic book film.
I'd give this maybe like a 7.5 or something.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like,
all
yeah.
Right. So yeah, pretty good. Like,
yeah.
If 7's good, 8 is great. You think like right in between those two? Like, that's how I've always looked at it.
I don't know. I always figure like 7, 6 maybe like would be okay. Like 5 for me is meh.
Okay.
And then like below that is just like garbage.
Yes. Yeah, to me, I've always
So it's like garbage, meh, okay, good, great.
Okay, to me it's always been 6 is alright, 7's good, 8 is great, 9 is oh my god, and then 10 is top of the top, can't be it. So, but yeah, we both have different ranges.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So 7.5, that's pretty good. Yeah, that speaks well. That's a very positive review. Let's go ahead and get into the, oh god, we should mention this though before we get into the spoiler stuff. I've only seen a little bit of that Harley Quinn show on DC, whatever the hell it is, the DC streaming service. I don't subscribe to the DC streaming service, but DC put up the first episode for free on YouTube. So I tried watching that, and I know the internet loves it. I hate that. I got halfway through, and that took me a day to do. I hate that thing.
I didn't even watch it. I'm sorry. I'm ashamed to call myself a Harley Quinn fan.
It's fine. But this thing starts off with an animated intro. I want that Harley Quinn animated show. That looked gorgeous, that animated intro. I think that thing was perfect, and I want them to do way more stuff like that. Like, if they can somehow squeeze like a flashback like that, like Harley Quinn tells a flashback or a backstory on a character in the next Suicide Squad film, and they bring that animation back, I would love that. I thought that thing looked great in here. Also, I do really like that even though they point out, yes, this is the same Harley Quinn from the Suicide Squad film. You even see her outfit that she wore in that last one. You even see like flashbacks of her in that film. They even mention, yes, I had a bomb planted in my neck. Like, they even mention the plot of that film. The Joker that you see in this film, you always see Joker in drawings or in the animated intro. It's not the Jared Leto Joker. Like, they were like, get that motherfucker out of here.
No one wants to anything to do with that Joker.
Kick him out of here now. But yeah, I really did enjoy that intro. That's just another thing that I had to make sure not to forget. Okay. Now, time for spoiler talk. Like I said, man, my throat is destroyed. So I apologize if I'm taking big breaks. On to the spoiler talk. As we said, Cassandra Cain ends up developing this relationship with Harley Quinn, and it is very much a protege-mentor thing. And it did really bug me that in the comics, she becomes Batgirl, then she becomes a character called Black Bat, then she becomes a character, I don't even know what her current code name is. I know that I hate it, but it's... But yeah, basically she is another member of the Bat family. At the end of this, she's dressed like mini Harley Quinn with like a heart sticker on her cheek going through. I was like, that just feels so weird to me. Like, that would almost be like if you had, in the next Joker film, a Robin appears in that film, and at the end he's a Joker fanboy or something. Like, it just feels odd to me, and I don't, like, the comic book family doesn't like it. Again, the movie family think it works great. Thinks it is wonderful, but man, it is so weird, and I just had to get off my chest. Yeah, I did enjoy a lot of stuff that comes around at the end of this. Like, I did enjoy that the big final blowout happens at the Ha Hacienda, or it's not the Ha Hacienda, it's
they call it the booby trap?
No, it's like, it's got another name in there they bring up. But yeah, it's the theme park that the Joker has used numerous times. I enjoyed that. I thought that was a good place to bring this all back around. And I did dig that the beginning of this film, it starts off with Harley Quinn deciding she has to send out a message to let everyone know she's over the Joker. So she blows up the Ace Chemicals plant. I thought that was great. I thought that was a great way to kick this off. Although, and I should have mentioned this in the main part of our review, as I've said, I am a stickler for film structure. The first 3 minutes of this movie is like the first half hour of a normal film. The first three minutes of this film is basically just, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened, now I'm doing this thing, now I'm doing that thing, now I'm doing this thing.
And you did mention that how this movie felt short.
I thought that this thing was gonna be like 2 hours. It's like a little over an hour and a half, I think. I mean, our movie started at 2. We got out of there after seeing through the credits. We got out of there at 4. So if the normal runtime of trailers is like 20 minutes now, yeah, I kind of was like, oh, wait, for real? So this thing was like barely over an hour and a half? Holy cow, yeah, they could easily have added like another 15 minutes into this thing. Heck, not even to talk about that intro and like flesh that intro out more, but just to give Huntress more time, just to give her more of a reason to be in this thing. Which Huntress, I think, was played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, which, wow, speaking of Scott Pilgrim. And she just freaking nails that character. Like we mentioned, or as you mentioned, I had to bleep out, at the end of this thing, when they all go out to celebrate and they all go out to get tacos, seeing her like she doesn't know how to do a fist bump and she doesn't know how to give a compliment to someone else, I love that. And I want to see that character with this team in future movies. I think that will work great. But I would like to have also seen in this film, or just not have had it at all. Like, just wait until the sequel.
Yeah, but what's done is done.
It's done. It's happened. If this thing is a success, we can get an actual like Birds of Prey film without Harley Quinn, just focusing on them, bringing some other characters into the fray. Yeah, and then we can get more of that stuff that I liked in those character dynamics we saw at the end of this film actually being fleshed out. Also, there's a small little, like, again, this is the comic book nerd in me, just having a small little problem with this. There's a plot point here in which Cassandra Cain, she swallows this diamond that everyone's after. So Harley Quinn goes to get her so that Black Mask won't kill her. But Black Mask is like, well, let's give her some competition. And he puts out $500,000 bounty on Cassandra Cain and says, send that out to every single mercenary in the city. And I went, every single mercenary in Gotham City? Oh, man! who is gonna show up now? Some biker guys. That's it. That's all right. I mean, okay, yeah, you gotta have Harley Quinn just beat up random thugs, I get it, but it's like, dude, that would have been like, I'm not saying have like fucking Deathstroke appear in it, but this is a comedy action film, and you're in Gotham. Have like Kite Man show up, have Crazy Quilt show up, have a bunch of losers pop in there.
I guess so, but it's like I felt like they didn't want to overshadow like the female cast or anything. Or...
Oh well, I don't think that would have overshadowed them at all. I mean, they would have just been there to get. I'm not saying. Oh, okay, I see what you're thinking. What you think I'm saying. You think I'm saying bring them in and have them be characters in the film. No, I'm saying just like have Harley Quinn like walk out of the building and there's just a bunch of random goons there. But if you're a comic fan, you can go, that guy's got
Oh, so cameos.
Yeah, cameos.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Just guys for Harley Quinn to beat up. That's it. Just guys for Harley Quinn to beat up. At most, have a mid-boss appear for one slightly larger fight. That's it. Yeah, I'm just saying, man, you could have done so many cameos in there. Nah, just random bikers like, man, don't pretend like you're gonna put some of the losers in Batman's like in Batman's rogues galleries into an actual Batman film. Put them in here for Harley Quinn to just beat the crap out of. Yeah, I think that was a great opportunity, and they didn't take it, and it kind of bums me out. Although there was a really cool Easter egg in here when they go into the police evidence locker, where they end up having a big blowout, where they end up having their first big fight. There is the Red Hood mask in there, and I was like, "That's a pretty dope Easter egg." Sorry, I'm belching now. I'm not even gonna try and hide. That's what just happened. I ate right before we did this. My apologies. So yeah, that was actually a really cool Easter egg. Like that's the thing that I can see everybody on the internet like losing their mind over. And I'm sure there's a ton there that I didn't catch.
Yeah.
It is very weird. Some of the like the only like Batman jobber villain who they did put in here was Mr. Zsasz though. It's so weird to me that they tried to. Okay, some people are gonna try and read in this, but I know I'm not the only one who thinks this. It's weird they try to make Mr. Zsasz sexy. Because he is, like, he's got that perfectly, like, styled and gelled haircut. He's got, like, model looks, but they just gave him scars. But they're not the crazy scars that Mr. Zsasz has. They're like nah, man, he's like, perfectly scarred to be sexy, kind of sexy.
These scars just make you look cooler.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
exactly what it is. And I was like, okay, I get that you didn't want to do the, like, he, crosses off 5 and then does a slash mark through the thing, like, all over his body. Like, I get that. But it's just so weird as a comic book fan to just go, did you just make, like, the most disturbing jobber villain in Batman's rogues gallery, like, attractive? Are you trying to do that? That's weird, man. There's so many other people you could have gone with for that, but yeah, but again, it's one of those things where I mentioned there are characters in that you could have shoved in here for cameos that's like, yeah, they wouldn't appear in any actual Batman film. And I look at Mr. Zsasz like, yeah, get that dude out of the way. Mr. Zsasz is always that character that everybody's like, all right, he's going to appear just to be punched and taken out. Like, in a Batman video game, he is the tutorial villain. And so I'm glad that they kind of like, he's a big enough name though, so I think that they did a good thing making him the right-hand man to
like
Black
basically
Mask.
the henchman.
Yeah, exactly. He's the jobber, as I said. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's the guy that, this is the job. I show up and get punched. That's what I do. But he is the thing that ties Huntress into all this. At the end of this, we are in the spoiler talk, so I feel like I can safely say this. At the end of all this, when they're having their big moment with Mr. Zsasz, and everybody has now assembled, the last person to come in there, Huntress shows up, shoots an arrow, shoots him right in the neck, kills him, and then she goes, I've now killed everyone that killed my family, including Mr. Zsasz. And then it shows him in the flashback, and I just went, for real? Man, like, again, it so feels like she did not need to be in this movie. Liked her, she did not, but it feels so awkward how they tried to squeeze her into the film.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about it? Because I've just been, like, doing comic book
No, it's like, I didn't read the comics, so I can't really say any much about it, so.
But yeah, is there, like, plot point or anything that, Oh, another cool Easter egg. They go down like Founder's Wharf, I think it was. It's basically just a bridge, which is a terrible idea. But it's a long bridge and it's got statues all along it of like important figures in Gotham. Don't load up your like shaky wooden bridge with statues. That's a horrible idea. But they go down and there's one statue that's clearly meant to be Penguin. And I was like, that's another pretty good one. There's some pretty good Easter eggs in this thing. I'm trying to think of anything else in here that I really want to say. I think it did end pretty well too, because it leads up to like the big standoff between Black Mask and Harley Quinn. She's only got one bullet, and then she screws up with the bullet. But then Cassandra Cain kind of proves that, okay, my pickpocketing skills kind of come back around. I thought that was good. Again, nothing like Cassandra Cain in the comics, but again, I have to look at her as her own character just made for this film, and as the character that she was made for this film, that is like the perfect way to go out. I thought that was done incredibly well. Oh yeah, the whole thing that we said we were gonna say for the spoiler thing and didn't talk about. They mention powers in here, and it is one mention, and it's one of those things that I am so torn on. Because I wish that they just hadn't brought up powers at all.
Yeah.
I wish they had not brought up powers at all. That is what I wish they had done. Mm-hmm. But if they were dead set on the end of this thing, Black Canary coming out here and just going, all right, thank you, phone. Always silence your phone before recording movie reviews. If they were dead set on Black Canary coming in here at the end with her sonic scream and saving the day, I don't know how exactly they could have done it in a way that I wouldn't have had any problems with, because they have that one moment early on in which Renee Montoya mentions to Black Canary, I know your mom. She used her powers to try and save the city, and I know that you have those powers too. So it's like, okay, there's that one mention of powers, but it's like the one and only thing, so it feels
there was one part where she was singing and she made the martini glass break.
There is that hint, and it's nice, but when it comes to like the actual like hint of powers being involved, that's like really the only thing.
Yeah.
And so it makes it kind of feel like you just shoved it into the film. But I feel like if they had brought up her powers more than that, then it would have felt more like, you guys know what's gonna happen later on in the film. Like, yeah, like, we'll just remind you. Like, I feel, it's one of those things where, as I said, I don't know how they could have done in the way that they wanted to do it that I would have been totally okay with. Because
me
mentioning
too.
it only once is like, well, that feels out of place. Mentioning it more than that, it's like, well, now it feels like you're just kind of hammering it into our face.
I mean, no, I know there's like the rule of threes and everything, but...
Which I guess you could say is what they did, because they had the glass breaking, mentioning it, and then actually happening at the end.
Well, I don't know if like actually having it be the...
Exactly, it's so weird. Like, it's one of those where I don't know... It's one where either you needed other people in this movie with powers, or you just need her to not have powers. Because just having one character have powers that are only used once at the very end, exactly when you need them to be used, it's one of those things where it's like, well, that just feels like, even if you mention it, it kind of feels like it came out of nowhere.
Black Canary's powers is Deus Ex Machina.
It's not Deus Ex Machina, because they did mention it. They did mention it, and they did give us hints. I have to make that clear. That's not what it is, because they did mention it, and they did give us hints. But it's kind of like Huntress, where it kind of feels like, you could just not have that in the script, and it would have actually fit way better. It actually would have flowed and fit the tone of this much better if you just hadn't have done that.
Yeah. So like basically overall the movie was enjoyable and the characters were great, they just not all of them fit.
It wasn't all cohesive.
Yes.
Well, cohesive tends to apply to tone, and I think this thing does have a very unified tone all throughout it.
Yes.
Just in terms of plot elements in here, not exactly that cohesive. There's some things in here that just feel like they're just kind of like, and here, there. And it's like, but everything else in here fits so well. Like I said, the idea of individual characters all being brought together by a unified story, that's such a hard thing to pull off, and I was so impressed with how they did, except for that lady over there. And it just kind of makes her stand out even more when everyone else fits together so well. But yeah, those are our thoughts on this film. Let us know what you thought. Come back tomorrow for our review of BoJack Horseman, the finale to that show. And then come back next week for the review of Sonic. And probably also for the review of Lock and Key. Because I just found out that got put on Netflix now. God damn it, Netflix, you have to promote yourself more. It is insane to me how Netflix has so many things that so many like, and that so many people like, and so many people are looking forward to, and then they're just like, their idea of advertising is, here's a random tweet that we just sent out, it's here now. What? Yeah.
Like, this is why companies usually have someone to work the Twitter.
Yeah, like I remember someone who worked out in Netflix. This has nothing to do with Birds of Prey more than anybody wants to tune out. But somebody who actually worked in the marketing department at Netflix one day went on Twitter and said, I work in the marketing department at Netflix, and I constantly hear people saying that we're not good at promoting ourselves. What would you guys like to see? What do you mean when you say that we're not good at promoting ourselves? And all I could think was, dude, I didn't know you had a marketing department until now. That's what we mean by you're bad at promoting yourself. So, yeah, I just had to talk about that real quick. Our dog is here now, everyone.
Yes.
So we're going to go.
It's our own little hyena.
Yes, that was a cute CGI hyena.
Yes.
Special effects weren't exactly all that great here, but they were good at times.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, they didn't need that many special effects anyhow.
Yeah, it was really just the two final locations of the film, and they were like, yeah, that's kind of like you're walking into a PS3 cutscene right now. Not PS2, but it's definitely like the last gen. But yeah, still, good film. Thank you guys for tuning in. Coming next time. Bye.
Bye.